Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Khoj Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation, Simar Simar Tako Hau Jiva, Rag Sui Mahalla Panjwa, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Simar Simar Tako Hau Jiva, Charan Kamal Tere Toe Toe Pima. Literally, by holding you in my awareness, Simran, Surati, I come alive. Hau Jiva. The implication is that we are not quote unquote alive as we are because we are not holding Tako in our awareness, and we will get into that. Charana Kamal Tere Toe Toe Pima. Washing your lotus feet again and again, I drink of it deeply. So what is the lotus feet? It is a metaphor for grounding wisdom. So here, I hold you in my awareness through your grounding wisdom, by holding your grounding wisdom in my mind. So Simar Simar, strictly speaking, derives from smarana, which means to remember, to recollect, or to call into the mind. But this is not merely memory retrieval, but the call is to be mindfully attentive within consciousness. This is kind of an inward hearing. And in the context of this sabad, Simar Simar is the attentive retention of the heard sabad. And the sabad here is symbolized as Charan Kamal, the lotus feet, very often used in Gurbani to signify, as I said, the grounding wisdom. What is this grounding wisdom? You can say, in other words, it's the movement of the divine within existence, the way the infinite touches and sustains the finite world. So the message here is internalize that wisdom of Nam. Only then are you truly alive, else you are in sleep, as mentioned in the previous Shabad that we examined. And in the Rahau, the declaration, So har mera antarjami, Bhakt Jana ke Sang Swami. This har of mine, meaning the har belongs to us, or rather we belong to the har. This har of mine indwells my consciousness, antarjami. So the one that I'm doing Simran of is the har, which is indwelling in my consciousness. Bhagata Jana ka Sang Swami, literally rendered, it means the master is realized in the company of the devoted. We'll see what that might mean. So now you see Simran Tako, the reference in the previous verse, the first one, is now the har. Har, eminent and constitutive presence. It is what we are constituted of. It is that consciousness that makes us. And it is antarjami, literally means the inner knower, but in Sikhi it has a wider connotation. It denotes the one that is present ghat ghat andar, in every particle or being, if you wish. And it is present as the embodied center of consciousness, ghat ghat andar. And it is also the all-pervading mover and sustainer that acts through its hukam. So it is the one that becomes recognizable through Gur Sabad. And the Guru here is telling us this inward presence becomes recognizable through Sangat. Bhagat Jana ke Sang, the company of those oriented towards the divine. So, Sangat is more than physical presence, it is inward presence. It is a field of awakened attention. So when you are in the midst of awakened attention, whether it is in the form of physical beings or in the form of Gurbani as text, the Guru is present, mystically present. सुन सुन अमृत नाम ते आवा आठ पहर तेरे गुण गावा. So the same idea is being expressed through different sounds and different words. Sun sun, by listening and listening again. Amrit naam te I contemplate naam, the ambrosial naam. Aठ पहर तेरे गुण गावा. Through the 8 watches of the day. It simply means day and night continuously. I sing of your virtues. Tere gun gawa. So sun sun is a variation upon the simar simar. Attentive listening to the sabad charan kamal gathers consciousness towards nam. What is heard is not merely retained as information, it is held in contemplative awareness. Tyava here. Until the life-giving wisdom of Nam, Amrit Nam, pure consciousness becomes assimilated within. And the singing of divine virtues indicates a consciousness continuously oriented by and increasingly expressive of those virtues, those qualities. And now we come to another substitution. Now it is Pekh Pekh Leela Man Ananda Gunayapar Prabh Paramananda. The first line is suggesting the way to do it, the mechanism. The second line in all of these verses is referring to the goal, the Har, Tako. And now here it is Paramananda, the one that is the fountainhead of all virtue. Pekh, perceiving. Perception is changing. By listening, by attention, your perception is changing. So the Guru says, perceiving again and again the divine cosmic play, Leela, my mind is filled with bliss. Boundless are the virtues of Prabh, the one of supreme bliss. Prabh here is now a substitute for Har, except that it occupies a broader domain in the way it is used. So Pekh is the fruition of the movement that began by Simar Simar and was developed through Sun. And Pekh is not spatial seeing. It does not mean looking at visible events. It is like saying, I see the point. So it is suggesting perceiving, recognition, discerning of what the Sabad is revealing. You see, through this process. So the progression so far, simar, holding the teaching attentively in awareness. Sun, listening repeatedly to Sabad. So attention is gathered toward Nam. And Pekh, and coming to perceive the reality that is disclosed by Nam. So this is the insight, Pekh, that is produced by Sun and Simar. So it is the dawning of insight, the capacity to recognize the meaning of what has been heard through the Sabad. You become an embodiment of the Sabad. What was first held in attentive awareness, then received through Sun, now becomes a transformed way of looking. And when you look, all you perceive is Leela. a ceaseless creative unfolding. That is what you see. It is ceaseless. It doesn't stop. It is continuous and it is creative. And this recognition is what fills the mind with ananda, bliss. So now the Shabad has shown us how attentive hearing, listening to the Shabad matures into perception. And the conclusion returns to Simran. Jaake Simran. What happened? Jaake Simran. Tako Simran to Jaake Simran. Now it is past tense. I have done that. What happens now? It closes by saying the result of the entire attentional movement that we have been talking about is expressed. Jaake Simran kash bhav na byape. Ah, fear no longer permeates my consciousness. That is what happens. And then the instruction to us, Sada Sada Nanak Har Jape. Forever and ever, Nanak contemplates the Har, meaning remains in that state of consciousness. We are less governed by fear. So we've returned to Simran again. You are in a state of Simran. You start by Simran and you end in Simran. One was the practice of listening and it becomes internalized and you are in a state of Simran at the end. What begins as attentive remembrance culminates as fear transcending consciousness. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.